Alex, Fraser, thanks so much for joining me today to do these predictions. Alex, can we start with you? Kick us off.
Yeah, I think I want to talk a little bit about AI, and rather than going into predictions of AI, because I think everyone, every analyst, every journalist is talking a bit about predictions, not only in the next year, but the next 5 years or 10. And certainly in the past couple of weeks, we've seen all of the volatility and drama, which is happened around the AI space as well. So it's really hard to know what's going to happen, even on a weekly basis. But what we do know, and I think what I look particularly forward to, and we at IndyKite as well, is just the excitement around AI and the use and implementations, an increase in implementations that we see businesses wanting to bring to their offerings. And I know that in 2024, we'll just see a really dramatic increase in rise. So there's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of expectations around AI. And so I'm particularly looking forward to and have the prediction that in the first half of the year, that will come fast and furious. I think in particular in identity and access management, we'll see things mostly come into play around threat detection and response, anomaly detection. So really understanding and seeing what happens outside of the typical behavior of identities. So that's really cool. And we've seen that for a while. So I'm really looking forward to and predict that some of the vendors that look in particular into those categories really show innovation around some statements behind those or proving behind those marketing statements that they talk about. So a big prediction there. Looking forward to seeing what's happening. Being delivered behind that. But the other part is also, people will be coming fast and furious, as I said, in the first half. But what happens around data readiness or just organizational readiness in AI? So, I'm also looking forward to seeing how the conversation shifts from just excited implementation around AI projects into how can organizations think about what happens underneath one level below. Are they ready? Are they taking these issues seriously in terms of data quality, in terms of data privacy, and the availability of data to use in applications? So we can only expect by looking at those sort of more foundational issues that then our services and AI models can do better. So a little bit of a sharp increase in implementations in the first year, and then maybe a bit of a settling and coming down to reality and trying to go to first principles with AI in the second half of the year.
Yeah, awesome. I think AI is going to transform every industry, really. So I don't think identity and access management is going to be exempted from that. I think we're going to absolutely see all of those things that you mentioned. Fraser, what do you predict?
Yeah, thanks, Trisha. So my predictions are around verified credentials. I think by this point, most people in the industry know what verified credentials are, but I think what we're starting to see is an increased consumer awareness of things like verified credentials and the potential benefits that it offers. And I think as consumer awareness picks up, there's going to be more and more pressure on businesses to roll out things like verified credentials and start offering that to their end users. However, at the moment, I think, and potentially this is a little bit of an ambitious prediction for 2024, but you never know. I think at the moment, the industry thinks about verified credentials in almost like its most basic form. It's binary, it's related to human identities, but actually I think if you extend the concept to any data point, and actually, maybe a trust score rather than a binary yes or no, this is legit or not, I think you start to unlock some really interesting and really powerful use cases for businesses, provided that they have an underlying platform that's able to make sense of something like that. But slightly less long-winded than Alex's answer, but that's just because she's a lot smarter than me. But that's kind of my prediction for next year.
No, but that's awesome. I think you've touched on a very exciting potential use of verified credentials there, especially as more and more people are talking about things like data provenance and data purity and data veracity as AI comes more into focus and people realize what they need to get ready. I personally have some predictions around authorization, which kind of, I think, ties into the two things that you guys were talking about. I think we're gonna see authorization remain very human-centric in the next year. I don't think it's going to change so dramatically, but we are going to see a growth in system-to-system and data-to-data level authorization. I think we're going to see more and more very fine-grained use cases coming to the forefront as more businesses transform from a more traditional mode of operating to a digital and maybe data-driven mode of operating, and the rise of data marketplaces, where before they might have been selling traditional goods, now they might be selling data about those traditional goods. I think AI is going to have a massive impact on authorization. Maybe in the first 12 months, we'll see just the start of that. But I think we're going to see a rise in AI generative authorization policies, probably starting more at the coarse-grained level before we get to fine-grain. We've already seen some vendors in the space come out with products around that. I think we're going to see more contextualized, relationship-based access models in use, particularly as companies become more data ready for AI and start connecting different data sets across the organization. That's obviously going to mean more context for authorization policies. As AI comes into play, we're going to need authorization policies for those different AI applications and digital products that may be AI enhanced. And I think, as Fraser, you were talking about this customer centricity, I think we're going to see more behavioral and dynamic use cases in play as well, using relationship-based access models to really drive some great personalized experiences and really great user journeys. But yeah, they're I guess the main ones. So Alex, you thought AI. I fully agree. Fraser, the customer centricity story around verified credentials, awesome. And I don't know, what do you guys think about the authorization space? Do you agree?
No.
Yeah, and I think all three are very much a part of the same ecosystem. Exciting changes. As we know, AI just in general can be seen as an enabler into existing things that people are doing. Same goes with verified credentials. So it is this idea of new and emerging technologies that I think is really exciting for our industry to propel everyone going forward. Authorization is the way that one of those things plays out in terms of performative actions in the field. But all of these things are really exciting that we're seeing momentum and hopefully seeing more than just projects happening in organizations, more of actual programs and a shift and evolution of thinking into this is the way we should do things, rather than just side projects. Of course, everyone needs to start somewhere, but I think authorization is a great place. It's something that the industry knows and loves, and obviously there's a lot of movement and momentum around that. So to think about how it shifts using some of these different technologies that we can put into play in 2024 is really exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like you kind of hinted at there, Alex, I think it's all three of these things are indicative of a kind of a changing in the winds, a hunger for something new. And I think there are a lot of exciting things happening in the industry that people are kind of ready for. And I think particularly in the case of authorization, it's almost like a friendly face when things are changing so much. At least it's like there's some familiarity there. But I think 2024 is going to be a really exciting year for our industry. So I'm excited to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you guys so much for these predictions. And yeah, look forward to 2024.
Looking forward to it.